Hello once again, lovers of good video games. My name is Pell, and for the first time, I am doing a review in a much different format than I usually do for once you can actually see in-game footage, so that's a thing. This will be the way it is done for Grand Theft Auto 5, obviously, and then Assassin's Creed 4. The next two games will probably be the regular format, and then Silent Hill Downpour will be the first one, or the next one to have that footage, and then hopefully the rest of the games following that will have a similar format. So, getting right into it, the game starts out in a city called Los Santos, and this is the main city for the majority of the game. And so the game starts out in a prequel to the main story for this game, and you play as both Michael and Trevor in this prequel, and they're doing a bank robbery, and it's basically an introduction to how to fight and how to kind of switch off between different people that you're playing as during these heist missions and other things like that. Events happen, and then we end up with the beginning of the story. And there are three main characters in this game. There's Michael, who is this past bank robber and ex-felon. He's living kind of undercover, and the police are taking care of him and everything. He's living a life of luxury with his wife, his son, and his daughter, and that's where he is. And we also have Franklin, who is about 20-something-year-old who really wants to get out and become more of a criminal than he actually is. So we have that. He's involved with gang violence and stuff like that. It's interesting to see him in his opening missions. And then we also have Trevor, who we meet about 3 or 4 hours into the game's main story. And he is a very interesting individual. There are times where he is nice and normal, and then there are times where he will just turn the other way and he will just go crazy. And he's a meth head too. Those are the game's three main characters, and you play as all of them throughout the story, and eventually you can switch between all three of them. Now, in terms of graphics, this game is amazing in almost every way, from its opening cutscene with the bank robbery and the in-game graphics that you see. In some ways, they rival The Last of Us, and I know it's a big statement, but when you look at the character models, yes, it's not as clean, as detailed, and everything as like The Last of Us, but it comes pretty close in some cases. And then also, when you finally get out into the world of Los Santos and you're driving around, everything looks great, everything is polished. You have to install the game right away before you actually play it, so that it doesn't have a bunch of load times and stuff like that. The only time that it loads, quote unquote, is when you're switching between the characters and you haven't done yet in your playing session. Then it takes maybe like 15 seconds to get to where you're supposed to be. But besides that, the game plays flawlessly. There's very little load times. In terms of gameplay, there's a lot to do in this game. The driving, for one, feels a lot like GTA 4, and there's other things like that. The combat sequences that you have to deal with, those are also feel a lot like GTA 4. There's a cover system. You go out, you buy your weapons, and then you use them in combat. And I don't know, overall, that aspect of the gameplay is really similar to its predecessor. In terms of the side missions, there is so much more that you can do in this game. There are ways that you can level up your character. There are just side activities that you can do, like tennis or biking or flying a plane or going to a strip club. Numerous amount of things that you can do. There's also a bunch of side missions that you can do that involve a bunch of different areas of issues that are in the world today, like 401ks, from women's rights to legalization of marijuana, globalization to gay rights, and many others apart from that. And it's just really cool to see these features implemented into a game. They do it in very interesting ways, like for one of the marijuana missions that you do early on in the game as Michael. You take a hit of the weed and then you see the aliens and you're shooting them up with a machine gun. So it's a very interesting and comical way to do it, but it's something that makes it fun and makes people pay attention, and I think they did it really well. But there's a ton more things that you can do in this game besides just that. Buy it and experience it for yourself if you are at all interested in what I've told you so far. In terms of enjoyment, I have loved this game immensely so far, and I'm probably not even halfway through it yet, to be honest with you. And that being said, I'll be doing a review of the ending to GTA 5 at a later time. I don't know when exactly. I'm in college, so I don't have an immense amount of time to play through the game and just run through it, and I don't want to run through it. I want to experience it more. That's what is happening with that. Overall, though, I have immensely enjoyed the game. It's very satisfying. The missions all go together. It's kind of focuses on Michael for the most part, and it's basically a story of him doing what makes him happy, kind of like Walter White in some ways, and him getting back into crime and just seeing where this whole thing takes him, because I don't know so far. Yeah, overall, really, it's a gorgeous game, and I love it so far, and I highly recommend you playing it. So, that is my review for Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And like I said before, I'll be doing a review of the ending to the game at a later time. So, stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to get that video right when it comes out. That is about it, and as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on gaming.
Alright, people. We need to split up. They're gonna be looking for a crew.
I'll wire your cuts when the rocks have been sold.
That shit was crazy, dog. So what now?
We get out of here. Keep our heads down.
Hey, you did good, kid. What'd I tell you, Lester, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, look, everybody take off. Hey, Franklin. Listen, Lester and I got some things we gotta clean up. I want you to stop by the house a little later on. We'll celebrate, alright?
Alright.
Okay. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. We're back in action.